It is 7:19. Andy and Tasha, Hot 104.7 on Skype with us live from Wagga Wagga, Australia. Tasha's friends, Dave and Heather, that she met on her European vacation 2.5 years ago. So you were just telling us the story of the name of Wagga Wagga because it sounds like a made-up town in a Disney movie. Where does the name Wagga Wagga come from?
Well, the name comes from the Aboriginal, who are the indigenous people of Australia. And for years and years, we were told that it means place of many crows. And there are a few crows, lots of magpies around. Yeah. And it was only in the last 12 months that an Aboriginal historian, an Aboriginal elder, has said, no, that's not quite right. It actually means a place of dancing. So the city council is arguing now whether it should be that or whether it should be left, or
because we have pictures of crows everywhere with Wagga Wagga.
Oh.
So,
but what was your solution, Dave? I liked your solution.
We'll call it the place of many crows dancing.
I like it.
Dancing crows. That sounds great. Yeah.
And speaking of the wildlife of Australia, one thing that Heather loves to do to me periodically is just send me random videos and pictures of all the things in Australia that can kill you and that are poisonous.
And we have like none of those in South Dakota. We have like rattlesnakes, but they're not right around us. They're like way farther west in South Dakota. We don't, I mean, that's really the only thing that could,
What about poisonous spiders? You don't have anything like that?
No, none of them are poisonous, really.
I like how they're just like, really? Like,
I'll tell you a secret about the two things about Australia and its dangerous insects and animals and things. And one is that the story is vastly overrated. Most of the snakes are way out in the country. They're not anywhere near. I think I've only seen 2 brown snakes, which are very dangerous, in my life. And the other thing is, Australians are secretly proud of the reputation it's got, even if it's not based on anything factual at all.
You're like, yeah, we survived there. We're tough.
Yeah.
We got it
today.
Well, our winters are lethal, so it makes up for all the lack, because all those animals would die. That's why, they can't survive 30 below, so that's why we don't have them.
Yeah, we got a text real quick to explain the cheese question. It says we add annatto to make cheese yellow. All cheese starts white, and this is from one of the Stenslins, and they own a cream, like a dairy around here. So the orange yellow thing is just what people here are used to. So they do it just to make us feel better, I guess.
Annatto. They add that annatto. I'll have to find out what that is.
Yeah, I guess. And Andy, we forgot the cash code. Do you have that handy?
Oh yeah, I do have that handy. Okay, we'll cash code it up here. It's a really tough one today. It's cash. Is the word you need today. Cash. 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 Go to the Hot 104.7 app. Click on the $10,000 stimulus package, and you could win $1,000 today, or maybe 10,000. Get all the details, hot1047.com or the Hot 104.7 app. So, okay, cash. That's the code word today. Whoops. Why is that still making sense? Just shut it off. Okay. All right. Back to Dave and Heather in Australia. Tasha's friends from her vacation that she met 2.5 years ago. So, you were in the middle of saying something, Tosh.
No, I was just going to ask. I think some people are probably curious of the time difference. Can you just say what time it is where you are?
We're at 10:30 on Monday night in the future.
In the future.
Yeah, they're in the future.
But it is still Monday there.
The last 24 hours.
Yeah.
What did Andy say?
It's still Monday there, though, right?
It's Monday night.
Monday night.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the other end of the day. 16-hour difference. That's pretty... Wow. Yeah. I was trying to explain to my daughter the international date line. She's a pretty smart kid, but it was still like trying to explain that, okay, the day changes at this point. Like if you're east of here, it's yesterday. If you're west of here, it's tomorrow at that time or whatever, I mean, it changes every hour of the day, and trying to explain it to her was like, I'm like, oh, like I get it, but I do not know how to explain it. And then, I don't even remember how I finally did get it through to her. But then once she got it, she's like, oh, okay, now I get it. But like the day has to start somewhere and it has to end somewhere. So
exactly.
That's why they did it in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because there's almost no one out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have daylight saving over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Do you guys?
Yeah, and it's so confusing sometimes, but
we've got it, and some of the states don't have it. Like New South Wales, which is on the east coast of Australia, has it, but Queensland doesn't. So for 6 months of the year, Queensland, which is north of New South Wales, is an hour behind us. So the time's actually different. And there's a city called Tweed Heads that's right on the border. And so in the same town, you can have two times. So you've got to be very careful when you're arranging to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty weird.
And so if you work, it's really confusing because
Yeah.
you've got to go to the border and come back. I suppose that happens over there too. In
There's a couple states that don't do it here in America too. Like
Arizona, I know does not, and Hawaii I don't think does either.
Yeah.
Because who cares? It's Hawaii. I mean,
it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And what is the weather like in Australia this time of year?
We're just sort of, well, it's autumn. We've just come out of summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your fall. Winter will officially start in about a month and a half.
Wow.
So it's quite nice weather. It's around 19, 20 degrees.
We're gonna have to convert
that Celsius
that
because us dumb Americans are.
Yeah, so 19, double and add 30, so about
66.
60, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used Google to figure that out, though. I'm not that smart.
And it gets down to, at this time, it gets down to about 5 degrees. So you can do your maths as well.
Okay. That's 41. Okay, so you guys don't get snow, though, where you live?
Not in Wagga. I've only had it twice in all my life. It would be south of us. It gets south up and high when it's getting about 6,000-7,000 feet. Feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. We're all metric here, but we still say some things in feet.
Some things the same. Yeah. So and it gets really hot here. It gets up.
We get 44, 45 in summer.
Okay.
Which
that's 113.
Yeah.
That's like Arizona hot. Yeah.
Death Valley hot. Although they get hotter there, don't they?
Death Valley.
Yeah, they'll get up into the 120s from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah,
but there's nobody there, so.
Yeah, I was going to send Tasha a photo today that someone had put up on Facebook, and it was a guy trying to play golf, and in Wagga, and there must have been about 25 kangaroos around him on the fairway, and he's trying to putt and he's trying to do everything, but there are all these kangaroos, so they can be dangerous too.
Which is
I've seen that. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, is that like around here we'll see like deer quite a bit, or even like roadkill, like dead deer? Is that a thing? Like, are kangaroos really that prevalent?
Not in town. Although if you're driving out of town, from one town to another, especially around dawn or on dusk, you have got to be careful. Kangaroos are stupid. They'll just jump straight out in front of you. Yeah. I think they're basically sort of suicidal animals.
Yeah, they're like sounds like deer.
Jump up onto the.
Sounds like a white-tailed deer, because they will just, there's a car coming, I'm going to jump in front of it.
It sounds like our kangaroos.
We have we live on a hill, and there at the top of the hill there we have quite a big family, a mob of kangaroos that live up there, which we see from time to time. But as far as like spiders, David goes on redback hunts sometimes at night, and he'll take his phone out and look for redbacks around the outside of the house so he can exterminate them.
What's a redback?
Probably the equivalent of your black widow.
Black widow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you go looking for them?
I'm looking for them.
Yeah, well, sort of just around coming onto summer, they build sort of low on the ground, and you can see them quite easily in the torchlight. Just give them a little bit of
because they're not nice.
Spray. No, they're not very nice spiders. They give you a very nasty bite. They'd kill a baby, a small child.
Or a child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or
by the way, Tasha, torch is a flashlight.
I knew that one. That
okay.
one.
Yeah.
I only know that from Band of Brothers, because they actually point that out when they were talking to Brits there.
We're going to think like Americans.
We've got an Australian comedian called Carl Barron. He does a very funny sketch all about thongs, because to us thongs are flip-flops,
Yeah.
I grew up as thongs were flip flops.
That's more of a generational thing here. It's more of like, yeah.
Rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the older generation wears them on their feet, and the younger generation wears them on their butt. So
yeah, exactly right.
Exactly right.
Yep. There is a really bad spider called a funnel web spider, but it likes the coastal areas and it likes Sydney. We don't get them here. They haven't decided to get down to us, which is really good. Because our temperature is so dry, it's either really dry or really, really cold. So they don't like us.
They've had a vaccine for it for years, and there hasn't been a funnel web death
for a long time.
For about last 30 years, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, these things, they put the photos up to scare you people. And they work.
Obviously not the tourist bureau.
No, they don't put it up. But it's pretty safe.
It's a good place.
Good place to live.
Have you been out here?
No, I was
just gonna say I would love to go to Australia, but I would hate that plane ride so much. That's the only thing that keeps Australia out of my vision of vacation possibilities. Because I mean, flying to Hawaii was awful for me, and that was only 5 hours, and going that 5 hours from the West Coast anyway. But
yeah.
But the thought of sitting in a tube for I don't know how long it is to get from the States to Australia. It's 20 hours or something, isn't it?
No, 24 hours, I think I did.
Ugh. Yeah.
But we were speaking to some people on our tour that we did with Tash, and we told them that we will drive from Wagga to Sydney, which is over 5 hours, and we've actually gone to Sydney, dropped our daughter off, and driven straight back. Which is nothing for us. We're used to driving.
But you drive long distance. America's about the same width as Australia.
Especially Midwesterners, we love to drive. We're like, that's a 12-hour drive? Sure.
10, 12 hours in a day it's not ideal, but it's doable. I mean, most people I think I would say are more comfortable with 5 or less in a day. Because then you can still do stuff. But if you're going somewhere farther, it's not. Yeah, we like driving.
The English that were amazed at that, because to the English, a half-hour drive is they've got to take a packed lunch.
Yeah, they do.
I was just going to ask you guys, from the trip that we went on together, what was your favorite part of that trip that we did? Do you have a favorite?
Scotland. Just
you did. I think you did Scotland before I joined you guys, because I wasn't part of the Scotland part, but.
Yeah, we met you in London.
Yeah.
And my very first memory of Tash was in her laughing and laughing coming into the bar.
I was going to say her laugh was probably the first thing that you. Yeah.
But then also coming into the bar, that makes sense.
Yeah, we were waiting down near the bar in the hotel for the bus. That's right.
Yeah, we had to wait down there.
You were with who was the girl you were with?
Becky was my friend, and then my friend Mike was with us too. But he had a single room, and so yeah. But
yeah. No, we'd done 5 weeks in the UK, just driving ourselves around. So the tour was sort of the last 2 weeks of our trip.
Yeah. And it was great. We met some lovely people.
It was a really good time. I think my favorite part of the trip, as far as the group is concerned, was that last night in Paris when we all were just drinking all the wine and beer and just singing and being crazy.
That was great. David was singing all those French songs. I couldn't believe it.
I must have been drunk. I can't remember.
Eating frogs and singing. Woo-hoo.
Well, and I remember I went over to talk to that table of Russians, and when I came back to our table, you guys were all like, we kept our eye on you. We didn't want you to become a Russian bride. Like, you were like...
Yes, look after Tash. We don't want to lose her.
Well, we got to go, Dave and Heather. It was awesome talking to you this morning. Hang on. Don't hang up on Skype yet, but we have to get to a break. We got 5 seconds to cash coming up here very shortly. Hang on. All right.